Gisbergen takes his number 88 right down on the bottom white line.
Joey Logano has just made his run. He goes to the top of the board.
And each year when we come here, the track gets a little bit more worn, handling matters more, so it's like, how do you find the balance?
Today on the Performance Racing Network, it's qualifying for the Bass Pro Shops night race from Bristol.
Welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile, where the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs will have their cutoff race tomorrow night with the Bass Pro Shops night race, the first round of 16 after tomorrow night. 4 drivers will drop off, then we'll move to the round of 12 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Right now, the first time that the Cup cars are getting to see track time this weekend here at Bristol. This is Group 1. These are the cars mostly not in the playoffs. The playoffs drivers will be in Group 2. Brad Gilley alongside Mark Garrow. And Mark, there is still opportunity here in this first group of cars that can go out there and practice. It's not just a playoffs driver that's guaranteed to get to victory lane. Any one of the 39 cars here this weekend could win.
Well, we've seen Elliott Sadler win this race from deep in the 30s. I think it was 36th or 38th position. So, again, you know, everybody's got a chance. But I think at this particular point in the season, Michael McDowell talked about this at Darlington. He said it's so hard for this group of cars. We're trying to catch up. But the guys in the playoff, they go up another notch. And so we are not only trying to catch them, but trying to at least hold the gap steady here at the end of the season, which is something I really hadn't thought about. You think, you know, they're going to kind of settle in, just get ready for next year. They're still trying to catch up to the playoff drivers who are still trying to push ahead.
A couple of years ago, RFK was able to do just that here in these playoffs when Chris Buescher went to victory lane. All 3 RFK drivers not a part of NASCAR's postseason, and one of them already early goes to the top of the board. That would be Brad Keselowski, a former winner here at Bristol, and we're starting to see the scoreboard move around a lot, Mark.
And the speeds, 125.354 on top right now is Justin Haley, and that is 15.3 seconds. So obviously we're going to see probably a sub-15-second lap to win the pole position for this event.
A lot happening here. We have 2 25-minute practice sessions. The first half of the field, that's Group 1. When we get into Group number 2, that will be all of the playoffs drivers as well as some of the top finishers from last week at Gateway, including Chris Buescher, John Hunter Nemechek, and Ty Gibbs. A couple of pit reporters downstairs. We'll hear from them coming up. It is practice right now and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series Bass Pro Shops night race.
Hey, this is Michael Walter for Echo Park Automotive, and I'm here to tell you why you should shop Echo Park before you buy a car, truck, or SUV. Over half the inventory at Echo Park is priced below $25,000. And car for car, truck for truck, Echo Park Automotive's pricing is $3,000 less than the competition. Maybe that's why Echo Park has over 100,000 five-star reviews. Echo Park Automotive is built to make sure everyone drives away happy. It's even in their name, Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. The official used car dealer of Speedway Motorsports.
When it comes to maintaining your engine to run at peak performance, trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Z-Max soaks into metal, so it's easy to add to your oil or gas to disperse carbon buildup in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. Protect your vehicle's engine to the max with Z-Max. Check us out at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter to find out more about our full line of products. Remember the name Z-Max for your car, big rig, small engines, firearms, and more. That's Z-Max Micro Lubricant.
For 3 decades, Racing Electronics has been the #1 choice for scanners, headsets, and all race communications needs. Racing Electronics provides the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate NASCAR fan. Stop by and see them in the vendor area to purchase yours today, or learn more at racingelectronics.com. From Bristol Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
It's New Hampshire.
Start your engine!
Green flag is in the air, and Chase Elliott gets a quick jump on the outside.
2 cars together. Chase Elliott is involved. He spins. He tangled with the car of Joey Logano.
In near darkness on a damp racetrack, Christopher Bell is going to win the USA Today 301.
It's the NASCAR Cup Series 301 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Sunday, September 21st at 1 o'clock Eastern on PRN.
Walking Mess is so uplifting. You see how the community rallies around us saying, we're going to fight this thing with you, no matter how long it takes or what it takes.
I love the energy at Walk MS. It is community. It is family. I can ride that high for the rest of the year.
A cure is on the line for me.
A cure is on the line for all of us.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Group 1 practice underway here for the NASCAR Cup Series. And so far in the playoffs, Joe Gibbs Racing has occupied victory lane in the first 2 races. Chase Briscoe, the dominant car at Darlington Raceway, leading 309 of 367 laps. And last weekend, Denny Hamlin had the highest laps count led number, and he went to victory lane at Gateway. With more on the driver of the number 11, let's go down to Wendy Venturini.
Yeah, with that win at Gateway, Brad, that was the 5th win of 2025. Denny Hamlin and the 11 team are on a roll. And when you come here to Bristol, even more confidence for Denny Hamlin. He has 4 wins at this racetrack, including 2 of the last 4 races for him right here. So he has a lot of confidence. He has a lot of power behind him. And right now he's taking in a lot of education in this first round of practice. He's about 2 feet away from me with a headset on, listening to team communication as they talk back and forth with the team engineers. He's watching the data right now on the SMT and watching the lines of some of these cars to see what he can learn before the playoff drivers take to the track. Andrew Curlin?
Yeah, Kyle Larson on the other side of that has the same advantage as Denny Hamlin. He is watching all of these Group A drivers going out and running their first laps on the track. Kyle Larson is pretty good at Bristol. He won the last 2 races here, leading 87% of the laps. But he and Hendrick Motorsports have struggled as of late, especially in the playoffs. Kyle finished 19th at Darlington, 12th at Gateway after having to come in for an unscheduled stop. His last win was all the way back in May at Kansas. But a lot of Kyle Larson fans and inside the camp themselves think this could be the race where driver number 5 could turn things around, guys.
Well, he's led only 873 of the last 1,000 laps in Cup competition at Bristol. And, oh, by the way, 60 points above the cut line. He's on to the next round.
Kyle Larson can just simply go for the win. And that's a huge advantage of the drivers that are sitting on the bubble. And you look at Kyle Larson, you look at Denny Hamlin, you look at Chase Briscoe. I think you look at Bubba Wallace at plus 50 mark. They can race for the win this weekend.
Absolutely. I think Bubba's in great shape. William Byron plus 39 should be okay. Reddick plus 37. We talked about the 2 Joe Gibbs cars. Hamlin, Briscoe, they've locked into the next round. Then you have Christopher Bell at plus 32, kind of in a tweener land right there. But that was a man who was absolutely hot out of his mind after the race last week and finishing 7th. I don't think I've ever heard Christopher Bell that bad on the radio. Thought he had the best car, and he wound up finishing 7th. Didn't like the pit strategy. Let everybody know it.
Yeah, the gist of the conversation, Adam Stevens comes on the radio and said 7th place, that's what we needed to do here today. You hear spotter Tab Boyd saying good run, and then you hear Christopher Bell yelling, why are we always the last to come to pit road? And again, that's just the paraphrasing one.
Yeah, there's some adverbs and adjectives in there that we can't speak over the radio. So, but again, you know, one of his nicknames is Iceman. You know, so and it's really kind of out of character for Christopher Bell to get that mad. I've heard him get a little bit prickly over the radio, but I don't think I've ever heard him be that mad.
No. But sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need to know that the passion is there. Mark, one of the big storylines this weekend is a softer right side tire that Goodyear has brought here for the NASCAR Cup Series at Bristol Motor Speedway. They basically have made the softest tire that they've ever made for Bristol. A couple of years ago in the spring, we saw the race where tire wear was at an all-time high. Cars were going about 40 laps before they were starting to cord. We saw several pit stops. It honestly made for an exciting race. Now, can they replicate that here? Are they even trying to go to that extreme? What they're really trying to get is lap time drop-off as the tires wear out.
And they also put some sticky stuff down on the racetrack. They reapplied it today at noon. Right on the bottom of the racetrack. It's dark and it's black. I guess it's the PJ1. And it almost, to me, blends part of the racetrack into the apron of the racetrack. I actually thought that Lane Riggs might have got in a little bit of trouble on the opening lap of the truck race last night, because you dive in there and it just looks all black. And then you realize part of that's the racetrack and part of that's the apron.
To Mark's point, you cannot see the yellow line in certain parts that delineates the banking of the racetrack to the less severe banking of the apron. You can't see that.
And especially at night. It's tough to see now, almost impossible when the lights come on.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And that strip of PJ1, which it is PJ1, when we had the high tire wear, they used resin on the racetrack. But that strip of PJ1, about wide enough to put your left side tires in it. It's not wide enough to put the whole car in it. The reason why they do that, as things go on in the race, this track moves to the top, and all of a sudden the top becomes very dominant. What they want to do with the resin is treat the racetrack and be able to give them another lane to race in. You can't all pass each other if you're all running in the same groove.
It was interesting last night, Lane Riggs, when he was challenging Corey Heim actually gave him the bottom, took the high side, and used the banking to get a big run out of the corner to just barely stay ahead of him. And then every once in a while, he'd go back to the bottom. Lane Riggs would go to the top trying to get it done. So it was very interesting. Definitely two different lanes of racing in the Truck Series race last night. And what we always see with the Xfinity Series, to a certain extent, they widen that a little bit. But the Cup cars, they'll race up and down the racetrack. They'll try to create 4 lanes before it's over.
Going to be a lot of fun. Andrew Curlin, what can you tell us about this Goodyear right side tire?
Yeah, exactly. I talked to some of the folks at Goodyear earlier this morning, and they were saying the big thing about this tire is to make it more reactive to the top, hotter temperatures. The goal is to get similar wear as the tire did earlier in the spring, just when it's hotter. Now, Christopher Bell was in the media center earlier today, and he said there was no tire test to check this out. So as a competitor, he's got a lot of question marks, but I will say there's good news for all of us watching and listening to the event, is that we're going to have to see these teams and drivers adapt in real time, and I would say that is quite the spectacle. So right now, as teams are getting their early and initial laps on the track, they're learning a lot about this tire.
Mark, do you know why there was no Goodyear tire test here with the new right side tire?
They didn't have time after they played baseball.
We were playing a Major League Baseball game, the biggest crowd ever for an MLB game right here at Bristol Motor Speedway with the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds.
I loved how they celebrated the home run. I mean, that is something that cannot be duplicated at any other ballpark. I guess you could call it a ballpark that given day, I guess.
It was that day. They had a Chevy Corvette that would run around the racetrack and run a lap. So everyone's got their own celebration, which is a really cool thing. So that's what I like, though. Anytime you have an unknown, we win. And I talk about we being the race fans who are enjoying what these drivers do.
So we can call this a cold turkey cutoff race.
Cold turkey cutoff race. I like that.
There's a little alliteration for you.
Well, right now, Spire Motorsports is at the top of the board. Justin Haley is the fastest on the racetrack. He has been out there for 45 laps, as has teammate Carson Hocevar. Brad Keselowski is third quick. Fourth is Michael McDowell. A.J. Allmendinger is fifth. Ryan Preece is sixth. Riley Herbst seventh. Eighth is Zane Smith. Ninth, Cole Custer. Noah Gragson is 10th.
Ty Dillon 11th. Todd Gilliland 12th. 13th, Corey Heim. Daniel Suarez 14th. 15th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Then you have Eric Jones 16th. I'm already starting to look forward to the Xfinity race. Austin Hill 17th. 18th, Kyle Busch. That's a bit of a surprise. Then Cody Ware 19th. Chad Fincham in 20th. 10-lap average. Justin Haley has the best 10-lap, best 15 as well. And as we have seen now running the most laps, Daniel Suarez at 48, along with Ryan Preece.
Wendy Venturini, Colleague Racing has been pretty strong here of late. What can you tell us?
Yeah, right now, A.J. Allmendinger, fifth fastest in this practice session, has been pretty good. He feels like he needs to turn a little bit better in the center, but the drive-off wasn't too bad. He mentioned the PJ1, which we haven't talked a lot about, but he said if he catches that left front, it's kind of snapping him loose. So I'll let you guys discuss that a little bit more about our PJ1. But A.J. Allmendinger feels really good coming into Bristol Motor Speedway. He finished with a top 10 here earlier this season. In fact, 5 of the last races, twice he's finished in the top 10. A.J. Allmendinger and that Colleague team are no doubt bringing their A-game this weekend here at Bristol.
Yeah, for sure. You know, one interesting thing that we'll be watching with Colleague Racing, Mark, it was announced that when Ram Trucks comes to the Craftsman Truck Series next year, Colleague Racing will have a 5-truck team. They'll be driving Ram trucks. On the Cup and Xfinity side of things, they will still be a Chevrolet team based on the campus of Richard Childress Racing. So not sure how that's going to impact the relationship and how different things go on. But one thing we know right now, Colleague Racing is starting to get the pendulum swinging really in the right direction.
It will start a lot of rumors up around Welcome, them going to Dodge on the same campus as RCR. It's already started. Just saying.
I like the way Chris Rice described it and said we will have firewalls built in between the Ram truck side of things and the Chevrolet side of things. And where that goes in the future, we'll have to wait and see. But I do like the fact that Colleague Racing...
You've been to that campus, right? Do you think you can put firewalls as close as everybody is down there?
No, they do have separate buildings.
Yeah, okay. They're roaming back and forth all the time, though. So, look, it's a great move for Colleague Racing.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And, you know, it's certainly good to have another manufacturer coming into the sport. That shows you the health of the sport. They want to come in. And, look, there are Mopar fans everywhere just ready to climb out of the closet and put their T-shirts back on.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing for the sport anytime you get a new manufacturer in and you get someone new investing into the sport, which I think is wonderful. We have 9 minutes to go here in Group 1 practice for the NASCAR Cup Series. Again, Justin Haley, Carson Hocevar, it seems like Daniel Suarez, they're on a strategy of go out there and run as many laps as you can. I would imagine there's been some talk of if you feel the tires start to cord, then bring it in. But with the unknown of the new right side tire, you've got to go out there and test it. And what better way to do it just to send your cars out there and see how long you can keep them out there.
And on a fuel run with Sunoco, it looks like you get, 110, 120?
About 150 or 60 with the size of these fuel cells.
So they're getting about a third to maybe a 40, 50% maybe lap run. This is a really good indication. They'll certainly get a good look at these tires, and they put them through the measure here. Now, not certainly 160 laps, but usually these teams, when you're putting in 60 and 52, 51, 50, as some of these top guys have done, that's enough laps to really give you an idea of where you're going to be.
Yeah, our stage breaks for tomorrow's race, lap 125, lap 250, then lap 500. So they could, depending on tire wear, run out the first two stages without having to stop. They'll have to stop in between the first two stages, but they could run each stage on a full tank of Sunoco fuel. The other thing, too, even if we come with a new tire, maybe there's some faster wear on these tires. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as the race goes on and more rubber gets put down on the racetrack, of course it's concrete, a lot of that gets picked up. Tire wear starts to extend a little bit, and that's something where the crew chiefs are going to have to earn their money this weekend.
Again, if we get something that kind of looks like that race where they could only go 45, 50 laps and then they fell off a cliff and had to go to pit road no matter what they were thinking or what they were feeling, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that the drivers liked it. It was intriguing for the fans. It was intriguing for broadcasters. And I thought all the teams that day put on their big boy pants. They did not blame Goodyear. They just said, look, the circumstances, temperature, resin, all together kind of brought that into play. They all adapted, and it turned into a whale of a race.
And if you're wondering what that lap time drop-off might be right now, Justin Haley, who's back on the track, he's now run 52 laps. His best lap was a 15.3. His last a 16.0. So we're talking 0.7 of a second. Brad Keselowski, his best, a 15.312. His last lap, a 16.2. Some of these drivers are starting to come on and off of pit road. But I think we're seeing at least a half a second in the course of 50 laps, if not 6 to 7/10 of a second, Mark.
That's a drop-off, and it's fairly significant, but it's not a huge fall-off. I expected a little bit more, and we may see that with the temperatures again once we get to nighttime. Again, how this affects the PJ1, what they do with this right side, how that affects this new right side tire. Again, a very big question mark. We're getting a lot of answers right now. You talked about 7/10 with a run of now 60 laps, basically, for Justin Haley, some of these other cars. So that's not a great drop-off. It's enough. It's certainly in the right direction, but I'd like to see a little bit more, and hopefully we get that in the race.
Yeah, I look at it in a track that's a half a mile. We're running sub-16-second laps right now. You know, if you tack on 2 more halves of a mile, 0.5 of a second, 0.7 of a second, that's a 1.5 to 2 seconds if we were on a 1.5-mile track. So the difference is going to be whenever we see pit strategy. If we get that early caution mark, say 50, 75 laps into that first stage, hey, if someone stays out, we might see either you can do it or, oh, no, you can't.
And again, the differences are so razor thin. So I'm talking here now like, I expected more of a drop-off. But 7/10 is significant. And again, if you give one of these teams 0.15 of a second, if you give them 0.2 of an advantage, they will absolutely go to the front, lead all the laps like we've seen with Kyle Larson. They don't need much more than 0.15 to really go out there and show the field that they're much stronger than anybody else.
Mark, one thing that really surprises me right now, this early into practice here, and we are 20 minutes into the Group 1 practice session, we see drivers down hugging the bottom line of the racetrack, those left side tires in the PJ1. We see drivers right at the outside retaining wall. In fact, Brad Keselowski is running a lap around the track where he's either running high in 3 and 4, or he'll dive down low in 1 and 2, drive up to the wall, hook it over to the left, and then diamond it back down to the bottom of the racetrack. They're able to run all over this racetrack this early in practice.
Looks to me like he's trying to duplicate the Kyle Larson line that nobody yet has been able to do exactly the way that he does it. Let's go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, one guy I want to focus on in this practice session, and it's a guy whose name is synonymous with Bristol Motor Speedway, is Kyle Busch. He has struggled here as of late. He hasn't won in 10 starts and is currently 18th on the leaderboard in this practice session. They've already brought him down a few different times to make adjustments, but Kyle Busch and that A team, they're not in the playoffs and are continuing their struggles this season and at this track in particular. So let's see if they can turn it around the rest of this weekend.
Kyle's won here 8 times before, and certainly knows how to get it done, but has not found that same success going from Joe Gibbs Racing over to RCR.
Yeah, I think the tough time last year, this time last year, it seemed like Kyle Busch was starting to get on the upswing. He had a couple of runner-up finishes right before missing the playoffs, but it seemed like they were doing some big things. I don't know that we felt that from them at any point this season, Mark, like, hey, maybe this is it. His teammate Austin Dillon is in the playoffs by virtue of that win at Richmond Raceway. I just don't know that I felt like we've gone into a weekend, at least since COTA, the 3rd race of the season, where Kyle Busch has had winning speed.
He's been good. Nowhere near the great you need to be to win a race. And that's at the top of their performance. They've just been good. And in this business, you might as well say that's average.
Yeah, that's true. You wanted to see Kyle Busch go to victory lane a lot this year. You needed to go to the Tuesday night shootout Legends car races over the summer at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He was doing pretty good in the Masters class, the drivers over 40 class there, as well as a couple other drivers. Shane Van Gisbergen was running the summer shootout at Charlotte Motor Speedway as well. And I was talking with Richard Burke at the track just the other day, and he was saying, in talking to Van Gisbergen, he actually won the end of season race, the final race of the season, and said, running these Legends cars is really helping me with what I'm doing on ovals in the Cup car. That's been his weak point. Obviously, that's not what he grew up doing. Pretty amazing to think that going out there and running a quarter-mile track on the front straightaway in a 5/8 scale car like a Legends car is helping Shane Van Gisbergen in Cup, but it's showing.
It was always a brilliant concept by Humpy Wheeler. Let's give you a car with more engine than tire.
Yeah.
And that always teaches you to be a better race driver. And what are these guys dealing with at this level? A car with more engine than tire. And it's always been a decent proving ground. And certainly a lot of guys have come up through there, at least got a few swings in, a few reps in the Legends cars. And again, Humpy, just one of the many things Humpy Wheeler will be known for. in his career.
Yeah, I like that. Shane Van Gisbergen, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch. You got Scott McLaughlin coming over from IndyCar to run the summer shootout as well this past season, which has been a fun thing. Mark, we've got about a minute left in Group 1. Then we get Group 2 out there. Drivers who are not playoffs drivers, Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek, and Chris Buescher, plus the 16 drivers that are going for the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. They'll get out there and make their 25-minute practice session. But so far, again, it's Spire Motorsports, Justin Haley, Carson Hocevar. They went out there and put up the 2 fastest laps early, but there's also been some consistency there as well.
Absolutely, and as you look down through there, again, the speeds, as far as the quickest speeds, the 15.3s, the 15.4s, we'll have to see how the next group comes out there. I think they'll be a little bit faster. And when you look at what the pole position has been here in the next-gen car here over the past, 2.5 seasons, we had Christopher Bell in the fall of 23 at 15.1, spring of 24, Ryan Blaney 15.3, then Alex Bowman in this race a year ago, 15.1, and in the spring, 14.9. So it's beginning to creep down just a bit. Let's go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, I want to look at the guy who is currently at the top of the board, Justin Haley. Actually, 2 Spire cars are at the top of the board as this practice session currently ends. But Justin, overall, pretty happy with the car. He said he was just a tick tight in traffic, which also makes sense. You know, it seems to be the consensus in the garage, especially with this PJ1 down low, that as rubber builds up, the cars continue to get tighter. So Justin Haley, as this first practice session ends, feeling pretty good about his car.
Justin Haley, the fastest overall, the fastest over 5 laps, 10 laps, and 15 laps. Teammate Carson Hocevar, second quick. Third was Brad Keselowski. Micah McDowell, fourth. Fifth, A.J. Allmendinger. Ryan Preece, sixth. Riley Herb, seventh. Eighth was Zane Smith. Ninth, Cole Custer. Noah Gragson, 10th.
Ty Dillon, 11th. Todd Gilliland, 12th. 13th, Corey Heim. Daniel Suarez follows him in 14th. 15th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Then Eric Jones, Austin Hill, 16 and 17. Kyle Busch was 18th. 19th, Cody Ware. Chad Fincham in 20th. So Justin Haley, you talked about, he's got the fastest lap, the fastest 10 and 15 lap average. He also ran the most laps at 78.
When we come back, the playoffs drivers, Group 2 practice here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
At Hunt Brothers Pizza, you can choose from 10 toppings at no extra charge. In a hurry, call ahead to place your order or grab a hunk of pizza on the go. Find your nearest location at huntbrotherspizza.com and follow me, Joey Logano, all season long.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcast anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
You've only got so many weekends. Spend one doing something nobody saw coming. Is it a party, a festival, a race? It's all of that, and all at once. Concerts, tailgating, unbelievable action, 100 reasons to say this is actually awesome. It's fast, it's wild. It's the cutoff race in NASCAR's playoffs, the Wild Card Weekend. The Bank of America Roval 400, Sunday, October 5th. Get tickets at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
In Las Vegas, pedal to the metal is all we know on or off the racetrack. Whether you're going to Vegas for NASCAR, live music, incredible restaurants, or world-class entertainment, Vegas is the town that never slows down. With so many ways to play and so much to explore, Las Vegas encourages you to go all out. Head to visitlasvegas.com to find out more. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Get your NASCAR fix with PRN's Garage Pass.
It's hard to just turn it around in 1 week, but I wouldn't be shocked if we did.
I don't think the results have been what we have hoped for or expected, but I think the potential in the cars and the speed has been pretty good.
You know, it's a big deal already, so that's a big positive for us. So I think now it's just about working together and getting better.
I think the Penske cars are still elite when it comes to plate racing.
Hi, I'm Mark Garrow, tracking the latest racing news every weekday.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
Every day, we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life.
It's when something doesn't seem quite right that it's time to pay attention.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Practice and qualifying for the Bass Pro Shops Night Race, NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs Cutoff Race for the round of 16. Let's go down to pit road with Wendy Venturini.
Justin Haley, fastest in this practice round here at Bristol. You have to feel good, but tell us exactly what the car gave you for feedback, Justin.
Yeah, we were pretty good the whole time. Obviously, thanks to everyone at JBMotorsports for unloading a quick car here. Obviously, all three of us are pretty quick, so... yeah, we'll keep wrenching on it. It's a long weekend, so just got to keep ahead of it.
I know you're busy talking with your team and with teammates. What have you guys learned so far in these quick practice sessions?
The new tires pretty much the same as it's always been. So, yeah, it was not much change there. So, yeah, pretty good.
Does it feel any softer to you? Does it feel the same?
No, they felt the same as they always have.
All right, that is Justin Haley, who's fastest in this practice session. For the guy second fastest, he's with Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, Carson Hocevar second in that practice session. Your teammate Justin Haley said the tire feels pretty similar. What was your takeaway from it?
Yeah, I mean, there's really not any tire fall off or wear a ton, but it's still fun to drive always here at Bristol, and our cars are pretty quick, and so hopefully we can qualify good, because qualifying is going to be, it's already important here, but probably a little bit more with the tires, how they're reacting right now. Normally you have the most fall off in practice and it gets better as you rubber in, but right now it doesn't really seem like a whole lot, so it's just going to be important to get out front and stay out there.
It's the sun's beating down on this track. It's going to cool off, obviously, in race conditions. How much do you think it's going to change from day to night?
It'll just have more grip, and ultimately you rubber it in and then you move around a little bit. And, yeah, it's always fun, especially when the top opens up. I think it'll open up faster than it probably has in past. Normally it takes a little bit, but it seems like it right there, like right at the end of our practice, you can kind of move up.
Well, Wendy, that's Carson Hocevar's analysis of this first Bristol practice session.
And I'm with A.J. Allmendinger, who's also fast in this practice session, fifth right now. And I was just talking to A.J. about that right side tire. Does it feel any differently from the cockpit?
Not really, no. It's, you could run hard on it. You definitely could feel, I felt like with the softer tire, you can feel the car kind of move around just because the rubber's so soft and you're trying to get the thing to settle down. But I felt like we ran, I think, 61 laps there, and it seemed like we lasted okay. So we'll see. We've seen how this tire, like just the tires in general, been here. Like you can court them, and then all of a sudden we run 160 laps on them tomorrow. More importantly, I thought our Grizzly nicotine pouch of Chevy was pretty balanced on them. So we're able to run a decent amount of laps to get a good tire read and now get ready for qualifying.
What more do you want out of your car this weekend? Where was it lacking?
I think it's more driver, really. A little bit of it is just trying to such a rhythm racetrack, and you're trying to be patient, and you're so fast around here that it's easy to kind of drive tight or loose into it. The last run there, we had a pretty good balance, but the top hasn't come in for us. We kept trying to run it in, but no rubber really got laid down. So it'll change if we get that run in, but now we got to go focus on qualifying. It's tough around here, so you got to have a good qualifying spot, especially I think inside the top 15 to kind of keep yourself without getting lapped there in the first stage if it runs green. So hopefully we go do that.
All right, good luck out there. That's A.J. Allmendinger. He and his teammate Ty Dillon running Grizzly nicotine pouches. So it's a neon green and black paint scheme for A.J. Allmendinger this weekend.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you very much, Andrew. Right now, the drivers in Group 2, they're sitting in their cars waiting for the green flag to come out. The teams that were in Group 1, they're under the 10-minute clock to make adjustments before they go out for 2 laps of qualifying here shortly.
So we had 2 big stories in the first group. JBMotorsports, first, second, and fourth with Haley, Hocevar, and McDowell. And so far, we're getting a big thumbs up on this new right side tire from Goodyear.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. Engines are starting to fire for Group 2 practice for the NASCAR Cup Series here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Mark, this is a cutoff race, and I know there are a couple of different words that get used for the final race in a round. I don't like to call them elimination races because I feel like all 9 races leading up to the championship race can be an elimination race. You take Darlington. For Josh Berry and Alex Bowman, that might have been their elimination race. Of course, that did continue for those 2 teams at Gateway as well. But any one of these races could be the race that takes you ultimately out of playoffs contention. This one, we cut it off. We're at 16 drivers. We're going to drop 25% of the playoffs field when the checkered flag flies tomorrow night in the Bass Pro Shops night race. And right now we've got a handful of drivers, Austin Dillon, Shane Van Gisbergen, Alex Bowman, and Josh Berry that are below the cut line. But Austin Dillon's only 11 points behind Austin Cindric with Team Penske.
And Joey Logano sitting at plus 21, currently ranked 10th, would like a little bit more breathing room. He has seen what happens when you come to Bristol without a big gap of points. He has been knocked out in this round at Bristol, so he certainly would like a little bit more breathing space.
And by the way, if your vision of Joey Logano at Bristol is celebrating with the Gladiator sword a couple of times in the night race, go back and look at history in the next-gen car. The results are not great at all, Mark. You go back and look at what Joey Logano has done here in the next-gen car, their finishes of 20th and beyond. He has just simply not figured out this racetrack in this car.
And he talked about that at Darlington. They just haven't figured it out. He can't get the feel that he needs. They certainly are hoping to find something a little bit better going into this weekend because 21 points is really not a whole lot to go on right there. And we always seem to have a named driver or two get knocked out of the playoff. From last year, Martin Truex Jr., he was gone in round 1. So there's always a name. Somebody always gets bit in the cutoff race, and it's always every once in a while it's a surprise. Sometimes it's a big surprise, like a Joey Logano and a Martin Truex Jr.
All right, here we go. The green flag is out. Denny Hamlin has the orange and blue Kings Hawaiian colors this week on his number 11. Of course, the race sponsor, the Bass Pro Shops Toyota of Chase Briscoe. That's a great-looking race car out there. We see Christopher Bell going out there. The Hendrick cars, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman. When you talk about the Hendrick cars and the strength that they've had so far this season, it's been good, but I would say it was almost first third of the season good. They need to find that. They need to get the pendulum swinging the right way. Chase Elliott's had a couple of good finishes here in these playoffs, and especially last week, a nice third-place run for him. But still, they got a lot. They have a lot to improve.
And they've got to catch up to Joe Gibbs Racing. They've gone up another notch, and right now they've got 3 drivers in the playoff. Looks like all 3 are going to go into the next round. 2 are already guaranteed. Christopher Bell in pretty decent shape coming into this race. But again, Hendrick Motorsports not to their level, right? For a lot of teams, it would be like, hey, that's great, but not for Hendrick Motorsports.
When we give you practice times and positions where they rank on the scoreboard, this is going to be where they rank on the scoreboard overall now. What we see, they don't separate Group 1 from Group 2. You're ultimately filtering yourself into the entire field of race cars out there. So right now, Justin Haley still being shown in the fastest. He was in Group 1. We'll delineate those for you as we're doing rundowns and let you know where people in Group 2 are. But they're just getting up to speed. The big question right now, 15.307. Is that fast enough for top 5 speed, top 10 speed? Or is that going to be something beyond? We'll find out, Mark.
And again, the track had a chance to cool down just a little bit. We'll have to see how that, again, is something that factors into what we're going to see in this second group of practice. Alex Bowman going by, looking for his 3rd straight pole position here at Bristol Motor Speedway. That team now full-blown panic mode. After 2 disastrous races here in round 1, they now swapped out a major portion of their pit crew. I mean, they're going for broke here at Bristol.
Yeah, Alex Bowman, everyone but the fueler is new to him on the pit crew. They took it from Carson Hocevar. Hendrick Motorsports has several pit crews that they employ. They lease out some of those to Spire Motorsports. We saw a swap earlier this year between Justin Haley and Kyle Larson's crews as well. Now we see the swap for Alex Bowman. The tire changers, 2 of them. The jackman, 1 of them. The tire carrier, 1 of them. Only the fueler remains on his car. But here in group number 2, Ryan Blaney is the fastest, 2nd quick overall behind Justin Haley.
And at this point, we have Blaney in that spot, and then we go a little bit farther down. Briscoe 6th, Hamlin 7th overall. They're the next in the line in this second practice session.
Yeah. And beyond that, you got Chase Elliott, quick 8th overall. Ty Gibbs, he's not a playoffs driver, but he is in this group too, 9th overall. Ross Chastain, who will join us for tonight's Food City 300 Xfinity broadcast, he is 10th overall. He's been the biggest surprise for me, Mark, when it comes to what we've seen in the playoffs, in that Ross Chastain's qualifying average is mired in the 20s. And now his playoffs qualifying average is 5.5.
Again, he talked about that on our broadcast, right? They've got to tune that up and turn that part of their program up as well. Chastain, he's always a wild card in these races, because no one, once he gets a car that's halfway right, nobody is going to be more aggressive than Ross Chastain in trying to get to the front, trying to take positions, and trying to hold off other drivers. Nobody more aggressive than him.
19 points above the cut line coming into this race. The big question mark, how aggressive do you feel he can be? That's a bit of a cushion. It's not the ultimate cushion. And again, 19 points above the cut line.
I think he's chasing stage points in stage 1 and 2. And depending on how that turns out, we'll see what happens in the third and final round. But if you're in that kind of shaky territory, tweener land, Logano plus 21, Cindric plus, 11, you've got to run for stage points. You have no other choice to try to get a little bit more cushion before we get to the end of the race.
So, Mark, Justin Haley is being shown at the top of the scoreboard. Ryan Blaney right behind him, but Blaney is actually not any slower.
15.307. They both run it exactly to the thousandth of a second. And again, at the time I thought, that's a great lap by Haley, but I don't see it being that great once we get the playoff drivers out there. But it looks like it's been a pretty good lap. It's still standing up.
All right, among the drivers here in group number 2, Ryan Blaney is 2nd quick overall. Chase Briscoe, 6th quick overall. This is among the entire field. Denny Hamlin, 7th quick. Chase Elliott, 8th quick. Ty Gibbs, 9th quick. Ross Chastain is 10th quick. We still have almost 20 minutes to go in practice for the NASCAR Cup Series here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
We work hard to keep our cars looking great on the outside, but engine components need our attention too. That's where you can trust Z-Max Micro Lubricant to disperse carbon buildup in your engine and fuel system to keep your car or truck running at its peak. By soaking into the metal of your engine, Z-Max Micro Lubricant improves performance, extends engine life, and reduces emissions. Trust the many customers who've said, "Thanks for saving my engine." Find out more at zmax.com or follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
So you're a Toyota Cup driver and you just made it to the playoffs. Now all you have to do is win. Easy. Just turn left, right? That, and start strong, take off, reach 200 miles per hour, maintain a good position, no big deal, lap again, time your pit stops, steer clear of accidents, talk to your crew chief like your best friend, and most importantly, turn left. Easy, right? You in? Get up to speed at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
From Bristol Motor Speedway, you're listening to PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, this is Brett McMillan. The opinions fly fast and furious each week on the Pit Reporters.
Every other major league sport has a playoff system, so I think the playoff system should stay. I do think there's maybe slight middle ground where there could be some changes that are made.
I do remember seasons where this championship had been decided well before the last few races, so it just isn't quite the same vibe that we have now.
Join us each week for the Pit Reporters.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Practice for the NASCAR Cup Series Bass Pro Shops night race. 17 minutes to go for Group 2 before we line the cars up to qualify. Let's go down to pit road with Wendy Venturini.
On my end of pit road, I'll tell you about Chase Elliott. He's currently 8th in this practice session. He said he does not have a lot of help on the banking of this track. He's having to lean on that right rear tire to get it to cut, which he feels like is not giving the right front any kind of relief. So he is a little bit worried about that. Chase Elliott comes into Bristol. He's finished top 10 in 4 of the last 5 Bristol races, including 2 second-place finishes. So Chase Elliott is strong here. Another guy that's strong here, William Byron. He's 39 points to the good coming into this weekend. Right now, William Byron says he cannot finish the corner, and he's trying to keep up with the tire. So we're hearing in round 2 of this practice session, Group 2, that the tire may be coming into play a little bit more. It could be the track changing as well, but William Byron feels like he can't finish that turn because of the tire. Let's head over to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, on the opposite side of that spectrum, a few drivers that are currently struggling in towards the bottom of the cut line. Austin Cindric, who's currently the first guy in, says he's definitely loose, so they're going to make an adjustment on that car. Currently 17th in practice, and when you look at his Bristol stats, he's struggled. 13th is his best finish out of 5 races. Also on the cut line, actually in a must-win situation, is Josh Berry, who says he's tight on entry. So some guys to follow. There's some good drivers that are showing their cards early, and then there's some drivers who will need to work on their cars before Saturday night.
Josh Berry, as far as the fastest lap, currently 38 out of 39 drivers.
Yeah, that's tough. And Josh Berry, in the limited number of races he's run here, he's only been in the Cup Series. This is now his 2nd year. His average finish is 17.7. And Andrew was talking about Austin Cindric. They do a playoffs media day, which they did in downtown Charlotte before the Darlington weekend. And Austin Cindric, he was just pretty honest about it, saying, look, Bristol is not my best track. In next-gen stats here at Bristol, when it comes to total points collected, Austin Cindric ranks 13th among the 16 Cup Series drivers. Now, the one thing they have going for them, 11 points above the cut line. But that doesn't mean that there's a guarantee that you're going to remain there afterward. We've seen Austin Dillon, who's right behind him, have really good runs at Bristol. We've seen him have bad runs at Bristol as well. I don't want to just give that to him, but 11 points above the cut line is one of those that makes it hard to sleep at night.
That's nothing. Again, this is the type of racetrack, in one way, very similar. Here we have a half mile, but very similar to Talladega Superspeedway. You can be riding around, and all of a sudden you're in a big mess, a big pileup. You had nothing to do with starting, and then you're wrecked and you're in the garage. And then the points just melt away at that particular point. So these guys, no matter what the deal is, they've got to get to the checkered flag. If they don't get there, 11 points will not get you into the next round.
Yeah, 500 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway truly is an endurance event. These lap times and laps can really go by fairly quickly, but there's still 500 of them where anything can happen. And then you have to worry about what can happen on pit road with the fact that we have half a pit road on the back straightaway, the other half on the front straightaway. You have a radius that you have to run around if you have to pit under caution. If you don't, and you're pitted on the front stretch. By the way, under green, I'm going to need you to come on to pit road in some place where you haven't all night. A lot of different things can challenge these teams and drivers, but that's what makes Bristol what Bristol is and the legend that we have here in Cup.
Back in the day, Sterling Marlin said it was trying to fly jets in a gymnasium. Bobby Allison once told me that because, of course, 500 laps, that means basically you've got 500 turns on one side of the racetrack, 500 on the other. So it was like getting in a wrestling match, 1,000 of them with an alligator. It's a very tough racetrack. Now, those cars did not handle like these cars, but the fact is, it has always been a tough race, mentally, physically, mechanically, on these race cars, drivers, and teams.
Mark, let's take a look at the playoffs drivers and where they are now, and I want to go backwards. Josh Berry is 38th overall among all of the Cup Series drivers. That puts him last as a playoffs driver. Tyler Reddick, and again, his Bristol in the next-gen car hasn't been that great. Honestly, good for Tyler Reddick that he had a strong Darlington race and finds himself above the cut line. 34th overall among the Cup Series drivers. Joey Logano, 31st. Austin Dillon, 30th. Some of those names surprised me, but again, if you look at their next-gen stats, that's kind of where they've been.
Kyle Larson, the dominator lately here at Bristol, he is currently only 27th. Byron is 25th. look up the field a little bit farther, Cindric in 17th, Bowman 16th. The playoff drivers aren't necessarily sort of setting the world on fire right now.
No, they're not. And I'm interested to see what happens during qualifying itself, because Alex Bowman's won the last 2 pole starting spots here at Bristol, which has been great. When you start to look at his next-gen numbers at Bristol and the things that he's been able to do, he's literally right in the middle of the pack. He's 8th overall in terms of points collected. But if you're Alex Bowman, you can't look at tomorrow night's race and think about points. You have to think about only one thing, taking the checkered flag.
Everything for them is all about that. Certainly for Josh Berry, again, same thing. They don't have, and I guess that kind of frees you up a little bit. Hey, what's your strategy? Haven't got one. We're just going, we're going for the checkered flag, and sometimes that frees up a driver, frees up a team to maybe try something they might not normally do. And what's so important about qualifying here? Talking to Chase Elliott, he was the runner-up in this race a year ago. Thought he might have been able to win it, but he had a bad pit stall. Why did he have a bad pit stall? Because he didn't have a great qualifying effort. And I think that is one of the key things about qualifying at Bristol. Do you get a good pit? Do you get a good in, a good out? Do you get both, or do you get neither? Let's go down to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, Ross Chastain currently 10th in this practice session. Overall, he says the car is pretty good, which is good feedback that the one team wants to hear. But Ross is currently 19 above the cut line, and he was asked earlier in the media center, how safe can you feel being, 19? You can point your way through, but you have to have a solid race. Chastain had a pretty simple answer. He says there hasn't been a standard race since they built this place, and drivers have been nervous walking through the tunnel ever since this place has been around. So even though he's 19 above, Ross, he may have a sleepless night tonight, because the playoffs and anything can happen here at Bristol. That's the most important thing that these drivers are focusing on.
Thank you very much, Andrew. We just, Ryan Horn up here directing for us, pointed out that John Hunter Nemechek is the one driver right now we actually see taking the high line of the racetrack. And Wendy Venturini, I know that is one important thing to these teams and drivers. What's going to be the fastest way around and when?
Yes, I'm shocked to see John Hunter Nemechek get bold enough to go up there, because the feedback on the radio comms in this group, too, is that nobody feels comfortable up there. In fact, William Byron just a moment ago said he has no confidence up there, and he feels like it will definitely be worse on the top. So, John Hunter Nemechek, give him some props for being one of the first drivers to go up high. There's about 9 minutes and 25 seconds left in Group 2. We'll see if anyone else gets brave enough to go up top.
So in the first practice, it was Brad Keselowski. The second practice, it was John Hunter Nemechek trying to burn some rubber in to the top side of this racetrack.
It is interesting. Practice number 1, we did see some more drivers taking the high line. But, Mark, looking at this right now, they've got the left side tires dipped in the PJ1 right there at the transition of the banking. I'm not going to call it the yellow line because we can't see the yellow line with the tire rubber in PJ1 that's over it right now.
I think right now the playoff drivers, look, we're thinking all qualifying. We're not thinking about the race at all. We're just thinking, how do we get the fastest lap? How do we get this car tuned in? And, again, a lot of what may happen tomorrow night will depend on what happens tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Lap count is something that really is intriguing to me, with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in group number 2. And right now, Ryan Blaney's been out for 58 laps. Chase Briscoe's been out for 58. Denny Hamlin's about to click off his 58 lap. Ty Gibbs, 58 laps for him. He's not a playoffs driver. Some other drivers have been coming in for adjustments. Ross Chastain's lap count is at 44. Christopher Bell is at 41. But Austin Cindric, John Hunter Nemechek, they've pretty much been out there the whole time.
And watching Chase Briscoe, he's been experimenting with a middle lane here. Now he's gone back to the bottom. Chris Buescher also trying to do the same thing. Buescher actually the last lap went in high, turn 3 and 4, tried to diamond it off in turn 4, which is what Larson did lap after lap after lap of the last 2 Bristol races to absolutely destroy the field, winning those 2 races.
One of the stronger drivers in this year's playoffs has been Bubba Wallace. Wendy Venturini, what are they saying about Bristol?
Bubba Wallace just climbed out of his race car because he just kissed the wall just briefly. 13th in this practice session. right on the right front fender. It's a little bit of black right there. Now, Bubba, when he got out of the car, he had a big smile on his face, and guess what? He shrugged his shoulders at the team and shook his head with a smile. So he's happy with the car. I checked in with him and the team. Feels good, but took a little too risky up there on that high line and kissed it just briefly.
13th overall, 7th quick among the 19 drivers. Or do we have 20 drivers? Yeah, we got 19 in this group. So he's 7th out of the 19 in this group right now.
Yeah, and again, Bubba Wallace, he's not just had an amazing playoffs. Let's just look at everything that's led up to these playoffs. He won the Brickyard 400, one of NASCAR's crown jewel events, and they have pretty much been strong ever since. And I know a lot of people right now will start to pigeonhole Bubba Wallace, or will continue to and go, yeah, but in the next round you have the Roval. Guess what? He's been pretty good on road courses now as well. So it's really interesting to see with his crew chief, Charles DeDyke, who last year was in the Craftsman Truck Series with Christian Eckes, and they run that team like a military team. Charles DeDyke, that's his background, and it has shown so much on the racetrack. He's having a career year.
I think it was either last week or at Darlington, Bubba Wallace talked about the fact when they go to the racetrack now, their expectation is we are one of the teams to beat. We are one of the teams you're going to have to go through to move on to the next round, maybe even win the championship. Their confidence is sky high. And when Bubba's walking around the track with a little skip in his step, that's dangerous because he's feeling it. They've got momentum right now, and when they show up the racetrack week in, week out now, they have top 10 speed. If you have that, you've got a chance.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say attitude and motivation and momentum and all of that are really good for extra spots on the racetrack. Justin Haley from group number 1 is still the fastest overall. Ryan Blaney, group number 2, he is second quick. They have identical fastest lap times. Ryan Blaney, after 69 laps, has gone from a 15.307 to a 16.063. Justin Haley, at 78 laps, went from a 15.307 to a 16.101. It's almost like we're seeing similar lap time drop-offs to the two fastest drivers.
No question about it. In this group, so Blaney's the quickest in the second practice session, followed by Briscoe, Hamlin, Elliott, Chastain, then Byron, and again, a number of drivers. Shockingly, some drivers are so far down the list right now. 31st overall, Joey Logano. Tyler Reddick, 34th. Josh Berry, 38th. They certainly, I got to believe, are going to qualify better than that and perform better than that.
So just to illustrate the difference between 1st and 38th, and we have 39 cars, Chad Fincham also in this race in the number 66. Justin Haley, a 15.307, his fastest lap. For Josh Berry, a 15.709, his fastest lap, 0.4 of a second. But after 60 laps, Josh Berry is at a 16.1 second, just ran 16.2. And after 78 laps, Justin Haley went 16.101. Honestly, Josh Berry, over time, is pretty close to where the leaders are. But you're going to have a little fire-off speed. You're going to have a little long-run speed. Well, they want everything, but you're going to have to compromise something.
Well, we found out last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race, even somebody as strong and as talented as Corey Heim, if you don't fire off on a restart, you lose 4 or 5 positions, which he did going into that third and final stage, getting caught behind a truck that did not hit and was on old tires. He never made it back. He passed 2 or 3 cars, then had to trucks rather, and then he kind of had to settle in. And that's kind of the deal here in Bristol. You have to have the fire-off speed, and that's a balance, right? You got to have the fire-off speed, then you got to have some long speed to keep you in the game as well.
Yeah, aerodynamics makes a difference, and it doesn't matter if the air runs over the race car like it does in the Craftsman Truck Series, or it doesn't matter if it runs under the race car like in the Cup Series. When you're in traffic, clean air makes a difference, and you want to find that. Andrew Curlin, what's our New Zealander saying out there?
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen currently 28th in this practice session. It's funny. He is going up against a lot this weekend at Bristol in the media center, and he said that this is his worst track. Now, he's done a lot of work. He's studied with the resources that Trackhouse has had, but his biggest problem is just getting adjusted to the banking. Shane came over the radio over this practice session. He said he's too tight in the center, loose in and off. They made adjustments to the car, but he did not like it. So things not going the way the 88 team wants, and SVG needs to get above the cut line to make it to the next round, guys.
He's got to win this weekend, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, minus 15. Yeah, is that's a he. If he doesn't, he's going to need multiple cars in front of him to have issues, and that's going to have to be a tough thing. Well, Josh Berry just found out where the limit is because he scraped the Goodyear off his tires in the outside retaining wall. And I would say if you're going to find just how hard you can push it, Mark, that's about the only way you could find how hard to push it without doing some more damage to the race car.
Exactly. That's as close as you can call it right there without you causing any kind of fender damage, body damage. And these cars in the back, they're tender-footed just a little bit. You do not want to hit one of these tires, rear tires on the wall.
Yeah, we have a minute 45 left here in group number 2, which will end the practice session. The teams in group number 2 will have a 10-minute clock to make final adjustments, and they're limited on the adjustments. They can't go out there and change coilover setups. They can't go out there and change control arms or different things like that, but they can effectively make wedge adjustments. They can make air pressure adjustments. They can adjust the shocks. They just can't change them. With the coilover setup, there are a couple adjustments you can make. The other thing is NASCAR only allows them to jack up one side of the car at a time. These cars have already gone through inspection, so that still, even though it's independent suspension, will still keep things bound up and will keep them from doing things maybe a little bit, I'll just say kindly, on the nefarious side to be able to gain an advantage. So they do a great job of keeping control of what happens in the garage, and you got 10 minutes to try and figure out what you're going to need before you make 2 laps of qualifying.
You can't blame them for creative engineering. I mean,
not at all.
They're always thinking their way through this and how to gain an advantage. By the way, 9 drivers, almost 25% of the cars here, have won a pole position at Bristol Motor Speedway, led by Denny Hamlin with 4. Among the active drivers, Kyle Busch, Alex Bowman have won 2. Bowman looking for a 3rd straight. Christopher Bell's been a pole sitter here, so is Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, Joey Logano, and Ryan Blaney.
Practice is wrapping up. 15 seconds left. Let's give you a rundown before we get set up for qualifying here. Overall, Justin Haley, Ryan Blaney, the 2 fastest cars, identical lap times. Ryan Blaney went out for 84 laps. Justin Haley for 78. Carson Hocevar 3rd. Brad Keselowski 4th. Michael McDowell 5th. 6th, Chase Briscoe. Denny Hamlin 7th overall. Chase Elliott 8th. Ty Gibbs 9th overall. 10th, Ross Chastain.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR. From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
The NASCAR playoffs return to New Hampshire Motor Speedway September 19th to 21st. This year, it's going to be wicked faster and wicked funner. 3 days of racing, camping, concerts, and fireworks. Grab your friends or make some new ones. And when the checkered flag drops, one driver takes home the giant lobster. Don't miss New England's biggest race weekend, the NASCAR playoffs, September 19th through 21st. Get your tickets now at nhms.com.
NASCAR Cup Series qualifying for the Bass Pro Shops night race coming up next from Bristol Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
Hi, this is Doug Rice of PRN. Join me every Monday night for another great episode of Fast Talk.
I watched the race on TV, and they wanted to give him the mantle of greatest of all time, and he's won 4 races in a row. And so I can't do that yet. But I do think what we're watching is a guy who's changing the sport. He's changing the way the other drivers approach road racing. He's making them study. He's making them up their game.
That's Fast Talk right here on the Performance Racing Network.
Local radio brings people together like never before.
It's a beautiful hometown weekend out there. We've got
your local stations keep you informed and involved with music, talk shows, and real-time news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway alongside Mark Garrow. My name is Brad Gilley, covering pit road today. Wendy Venturini and Andrew Curlin. They're starting to push the cars out to the end of pit road, Mark, and we're going to go qualifying. It'll be short track qualifying, which means 2 laps that each of the teams can take to be able to try and make their fastest lap. It'll be interesting to see if that evolves. If someone puts up a fast one on the first lap, you know what? You're probably not going to start on qualifying tires, but it would be nice to have 1 lap fresher should you need to use those qualifying scuffs.
Every little bit helps here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So Alex Bowman, first 15 Bristol races, it took him 15 to get his first pole. Now he's gone back-to-back. Now he's trying to become the first driver to win 3 straight poles since Rusty Wallace back in 1997 and 98. Back then, Rusty owned this racetrack. I mean, he absolutely owned this place. So it'll be interesting to see if Alex Bowman can get that done, which if you're just trying, and you're in his mode where you got to win the race, getting the number 1 pit would be a great step towards that.
Oh, that would be amazing. One of the things I really loved when Rusty Wallace had his last call, his retirement tour, and they were giving gifts to Rusty Wallace at every track during pre-race. Well, he won 6 races here at Bristol. He was the driver of the Miller Lite car at the time. They gave him a bronze 6-pack. How appropriate was that? I thought that to me was like one of the coolest retirement tour gifts that I'd ever seen.
Rusty Wallace was just one of the coolest guys that has ever raced here in NASCAR. He was a lot of fun. He was very colorful. Out on the town, he was just a big fun guy and very popular among the fans. And in the Garrow family, Rusty Wallace walked on water because at one point back in the day, we were at Dover. He went to my home track, Claremont, New Hampshire, Claremont Speedway. I said, "Can I jump on the plane with you?" He said, "No problem." So we fly up there. My mom and dad, some of my family came over to see me, and I said, "Rusty, could you just spend a second with him?" Well, he spends like 30 minutes. He does Rusty for 30 minutes with my family. After that, my mom, I lived and died with Rusty Wallace. So he's big. Again, just one of the greatest in this business of all time, really.
And I'll say, if you're a motorcyclist, he and son Stephen Wallace, Stephen really runs it, Southern Country Customs. They customize Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and they do an amazing job. Last month, they were up at the Sturgis Rally, raised over $500,000 for the NASCAR Foundation with Rusty's ride. I had the opportunity to join them, which was really neat. And Mark, I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at those motorcycles, I'm not a Harley guy. They were amazing. That could convert me back.
Well, the sport, and one of the things we've lost, I think, a little bit from back in the day, we've got some great drivers now with great personalities, but we had characters back then. Rusty Wallace was a character, and he made things a lot of fun inside the garage, that's for sure.
Yeah, he did. And it's great to have him join the Motor Racing Network for a handful of their broadcasts, most recently at Darlington Raceway, and really neat to have him be a part of what we still do here in NASCAR. But right now, you know what? We're looking at Hall of Famers out on the racetrack, future Hall of Famers. We're looking at veteran drivers. We're looking at young drivers. Corey Heim is going to run this race for 2311 Raceway, or 2311 Racing, rather. And it's really cool to see what we've got when it comes to the 39 cars that will start this Bass Pro Shops night race.
An interesting mix, no doubt about it. And, you know, we talked about Alex Bowman winning the last 2 pole positions at Bristol. In the last 2 qualifying sessions, not only has he started first, but we've had 6 Chevys, 3 Toyotas, and 1 Ford in the top 10. An absolute same snapshot of the top qualifiers here the last 2 times around. We'll have to see if that is going to play into it. Now, Alex Bowman was okay in practice, didn't set the world on fire, so we'll have to see if he can find the magic, find the lap that he needs here in just a moment.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go down to Wendy Venturini.
Good. Ryan Blaney ran the most laps of that round of practice, actually, more than anyone, 84 laps, fastest on that 15-lap average. What were you trying to accomplish staying out there for so long, and how much did the car change on you?
Yeah, I think really just, trying to learn with this tire, you know, kind of, hey, where does it go? And B, just I thought my car was pretty good early and stayed good enough to where we could just see where it went, and I didn't really need changes too drastic that I needed to come in and fix it. So, overall a good practice session for us, and feel like we have a decent idea of maybe the tire now. I think it's going to change tomorrow night when it cools down. You know, it'd be pretty hot right now, and track temp will change drastically tomorrow night. But hopefully we got a good piece right now. Just got to stick with it.
Now go back to that A part on that right side tire. It seemed like Group A didn't really affect. They said they didn't feel a difference in this tire, but did you in Group 2?
Not really. I felt like it was very similar to the spring, at least right now. I think maybe tomorrow night there'll be some bigger changes. A lot of marbles kind of started to come off of them, so that was good. And practice here is so hard because the bottom is so dominant. And it gets marbles up top, and then you can't run up there, you know. So in the race, we'll get up there tomorrow night, and then you kind of see what your car needs there. But I thought the tire was pretty similar, and but it could all change tomorrow night. You never know.
All right, that's Ryan Blaney. He's led 555 laps here, guys. That's the most of any racetrack for Ryan Blaney.
Thank you very much, Wendy Venturini. The Group 2 cars from practice, they're still on the 10-minute clock to make their adjustments. The Group 1 cars from practice, our first qualifiers, Corey Heim will be the first one. They're lined up on pit road ready to qualify. That will happen when we come back to the world's fastest half mile.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmonly Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Hi, it's PRN's Brad Gilley. Did you know you could take PRN with you anywhere? That's right. By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live race broadcast from anywhere. Make sure you don't miss a second of the action from the track. Download today for station listings and on-demand access to your favorite studio shows like Fast Talk, The Pit Reporters, or Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app. Download today, available in the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
When we come back, the beginning of qualifying for the Bass Pro Shops night race from Bristol Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
No one's paying me to say this, but you've been our lifeline. We have no internet. We have no TV. We barely have cell service. I don't know how I'm able to get to you. My Wi-Fi is not working. And I have a radio, and I finally got power on, and I have it plugged in, and I could hear you. You're the only station I can get in.
Wow. Well,
That's
I'm
why
glad
we're
we're here.
So,
wow.
The report that we got was that a severe tornado was heading right toward us. And I just want to commend you gentlemen for the job that you're doing, for keeping us informed.
I just wanted to say thank you for being on the radio and guiding us to, where we can get help.
I just want to tell you, the first thing I heard was your voices on the next morning. Oh, shoot. And it made me cry. The comfort of hearing your voices.
My respiration, perspiration, and aggravation are sky high, but you guys have been the guiding light.
Your local AM station makes a difference.
Qualifying has just opened up for the Bass Pro Shops night race. Corey Heim, the first car on the track in his first lap on the track of 15.789. Let's go down to Andrew Kurland.
Brad Keselowski was fourth in that practice session, is currently watching Corey Heim run some laps. What are you anticipating ahead of this qualifying session?
The track to gain a lot of speed. I feel terrible for this guy going out first. The track sat for 20 minutes and just crushed it, but hopefully the track comes in just right for when we go out. I think we go out like 17th here. Usually it takes about 10 cars to get going, so we should have a great car.
I saw you were looking at the tires after practice. You said looks pretty good, so what was your evaluation of them?
Yeah, I think our Castro Ford Mustang here is got good speed, good pace, keeping the tires on it. Bodes well for tomorrow.
That's Brad Keselowski. He's hoping to put a quick lap down here in qualifying.
Brad must think he has a good car. He's focused.
Yeah.
He's willing to do the interview, but he is going to be succinct. He's going to give you an answer as quickly as he possibly can. And, again, an indication that we are not going to see some quick laps here, at least at the beginning of this qualifying session, because the track did have a chance to sit just a bit, and that's never going to be good for the guys going out in the first 2, 3, 4 spots.
I like what he said, though, because right now we're going to look at Corey Heim and go, man, a 16.673. That's about 0.3 of a second off the fastest time. And Brad said, man, I feel really sorry for him because you're just not going to make a fast lap. Chad Fincham, the second to go out, he is at a 16.054. And let's go down to Wendy Venturini.
Carson Hocevar was fast in that practice early. Do you think the track is going to change much for your qualifying lap?
I hope not, but we'll see. It normally is looser, less grip, but ultimately you don't want to go out super early. That's when it's really, really different. So hopefully where we're at, right here in the middle will suffice, and this Delaware Life Chevy could be pretty good, and hopefully the Hendrick Engine Shop got this thing tuned up.
All right, that's Carson Hocevar. He is seated with his earplugs already in his ears. It's a very loud racetrack, but he is focused and ready to go.
So at this point, we've had only 3 drivers attempt their qualifying. Austin Hill has just gone out for the quickest lap at 15.612, 122.905 miles. That will make the track a little bit faster as we go along.
Yeah, faster on the second lap, 15.397. Remember, the fastest lap in practice, a 15.307. That was turned by both Justin Haley and Ryan Blaney. Coming up next on the track, Todd Gilliland. We did see a Love's Travel Stop Ford win last night with Lane Riggs from Front Row Motorsports. Love's Travel Stops is who was on the car for Todd Gilliland this weekend here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Lane Riggs did a great job last night. Problems on the opening lap, kicks him all the way back to 35th, drives back to the top 10 to get stage points, finishes, 3rd or 4th in the next stage, and then his pit crew did a great job getting him out ahead of Corey Heim, and that was it, man. Lane Riggs put the hammer down, took it to him, and won that race last night.
Yeah, that was their second race in the round of 10 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They'll have their final race next weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. They drop off the bottom two drivers in this first round. Corey Heim won the playoffs opener at Darlington. Lane Riggs wins here at Bristol Motor Speedway. One last opportunity, and we actually saw a lot of attrition with some playoffs drivers last night, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Saturday coming up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Again, Bristol, if you got through it last night in some positive fashion, certainly a big sigh of relief. You can get in trouble at New Hampshire. It's just easier to do it here at Bristol.
Yes, it is for sure. And that's going to be a whole different ball game. So Todd Gilliland clocked in fourth. His teammate at Front Row Motorsports, one of his teammates at Front Row, Zane Smith, is out on the racetrack right now. Well, all three Front Row drivers are going to go back to back to back because after Zane Smith, we get Noah Gragson. But, Zane Smith already lap number one to the top of 15.344 mark.
So he is what, number 8? Out, so we're seeing the track as Brad Keselowski. He didn't just predict; he was telling us.
Yes,
I mean, it was not a guess. He was telling us what was going to go on. Zane Smith, 15.373, 124.816 is now the speed to shoot for.
All right, let's go down to Wendy Venturini with one of the hottest drivers in the Cup Series right now.
John Hunter Nemechek, you were one of the very brave and bold drivers to go up high in practice. What did you learn up there?
Not too much, to be honest with you, other than it doesn't have a ton of grip right now. Hopefully the Xfinity race puts down some rubber, and then we move up tomorrow just to have options. But overall, our Pi Barker Toyota Camry XSE I thought was pretty good. Race trim, need a little bit here. Hopefully we can go lay down a lap in qualifying and make our day that much easier tomorrow.
What does it take for a driver to go up high, and when do you do it?
Just ship it. That's all you got to do.
He says it with confidence and a big smile, guys.
Noah Gragson, third quick on his opening lap. His second lap, will that improve things for him? No. His speed 124.581. So currently, Zane Smith is on top of the standings. Not a huge surprise. I mean, this is a pole sitter from Talladega. He's been a fastest qualifier this season for Front Row.
Yeah, he really has good qualifying speed. John Hunter Nemechek, unfortunately, Legacy Motor Club did not make the playoffs with both John Hunter and with Eric Jones. But John Hunter has opened the playoffs as a non-contender with an average finish of 5th. He had that fourth-place run at Darlington, a sixth-place run last weekend at Gateway. Legacy Motor Club truly is coming into their own right now.
No question. And, again, we spoke about a moment ago how Michael McGow said, look, we need to not only keep pace, but we need, in these final 10 races, to try to gain more on the playoff drivers so we have a better shot to start 2026 in a way that gives us a better chance to make the playoff. Legacy Motor Club certainly has momentum towards that with both John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones.
For sure. Cody Ware just made his laps. He was not able to hold it to the bottom in turn number 4. That means he is 5th quick. So your top 10 so far, Zane Smith is the fastest, followed by Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, Austin Hill, Cody Ware, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, Ty Dillon, Corey Heim, and Chad Fincham, your top 10.
This is a Camry. This is a Camry on NASCAR. This is a Camry on NASCAR with Ty Gibbs behind the wheel. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
You've only got so many weekends. Spend one doing something nobody saw coming. Is it a party, a festival, a race? It's all of that, and all at once. Concerts, tailgating, unbelievable action, 100 reasons to say this is actually awesome. It's fast, it's wild. It's the cutoff race in NASCAR's playoffs, the Wild Card Weekend. The Bank of America Roval 400, Sunday, October 5th. Get tickets at charlottemotorspeedway.com.
The next cars coming up include Cole Custer, Justin Haley, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., A.J. Allmendinger, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Carson Hocevar from Bristol Motor Speedway. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. These cars are about to fire it off in anger.
Logano back across the stripe. Now Zane Smith putting on some pressure.
Side by side, Austin Cindric has him at the line, and he will take the lead into one.
Boy, what a save. We got cars sideways. It's Christopher Bell. He spins and collects a couple cars. Here comes Shane Van Gisbergen on the bottom. He's looking for second.
Now Chris Buescher fired out of a cannon at turn 2. He's right into the rear bumper of Ty Gibbs. Which way is he going to go?
Oh, it's a multi-car accident. I want to say 15, 20 cars. Looks like Austin Cindric is involved. Denny Hamlin. Guys, that took out about 2/3 of the field.
We have a fight on pit road between two crew guys. One of them is with Ty Gibbs. One is with Brad Keselowski.
Brad Keselowski will see the white flag as he drives under the start-finish line.
Chase Elliott has battled at the front all night long. He's won the war. Chase Elliott has just punched his ticket to the playoffs.
Awesome job, man. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
This is PRN.
Welcome back to Bristol Motor Speedway. Qualifying continuing for the Bass Pro Shops night race coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Food City 300. Ross Chastain will join Mark and I in the booth for that broadcast. But first, he's got to take care of his sit-down job. Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Ross is going to be in the booth with us tonight. You're going to be giving us some analysis for the Xfinity race. So what's the analysis on practice? What did you see, and what are you looking for when you're going to qualify?
I found a lot of cars around the bottom, Andrew, for our Moose Fraternity Chevy. We started off okay, balance-wise, and speed is there. And then we fell off. We built too tight on the long run. So we stopped around lap 20 and made an adjustment and fired back off again, pretty good, and then built tight again. So got some tightness in the Moose Chevy. See if we can match better tomorrow. Right now, though, I was too loose on the first lap, so tough battle for Phil Surgeon to decipher everything I'm saying and make the right adjustments for qualifying.
Guys, that's Ross Chastain. He's got to climb inside this number 1 Moose race car. He's got his earbuds in, and he is ready to go rip a fast lap around Bristol.
Speaking of ripping a fast lap, Justin Haley, quickest in practice, in a tie with Ryan Blaney, has gone to the top. He's gone a little bit quicker than he practiced, 15.272 on his opening lap, and his second lap just a tick slower, about 0.07 of a second. But Haley now goes to number 1. His speed 125.584 miles per hour.
And obviously his speed transferring over from practice in a good way. So what we're looking at as we look out the window, Mark, half of the track is covered in shade, essentially. The entire front straightaway, the sun is still shining on it. You go into turn 1, about midway through turn 1 is where you start to see some of the shade all the way through the back straightaway, and then to halfway around turn number 3. That's where we sit with shade versus sun, and after 10 cars, as Brad Keselowski said, the track should get better.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. next up at the plate, followed by A.J. Allmendinger, Eric Jones, Kyle Busch. Brad Keselowski looked pretty quick in the practice session. We'll have to see how he'll do. I think he's kind of quietly confident he's got a good race car.
This was a track Ricky Stenhouse Jr. used to look forward to going to. A couple of runner-up finishes here in a prior generation of race car. He's third quick on his first lap. Let's see where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. can go on his second. Can he go a little quicker? Can he move up on the scoreboard? Boy, does he. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now the fastest of 15.220, 126.071 miles per hour as we go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, and that lap certainly caught the attention of William Byron, who is getting ready to roll off in qualifying. You finished 6th earlier here in the spring. What have you and Hendrick Motorsports learned, and how do you approach this weekend?
Just it seems so far like pretty normal Bristol things. So just trying to get our car balanced and big focus right now on having a good qualifying lap. So hopefully can go in there and hit both ends of the track.
What's that like from behind the wheel? How intense is a lap around Bristol?
It's not that intense if you get it right, but it's very intense if you start to miss it. So, yeah.
That's good advice from William Byron. If you're doing it right, it feels pretty good.
William Byron has started top 10 this season 18 times. That's 1 more than Chase Briscoe, 4 more than Tyler Reddick. Chase Briscoe has the best average starting position, 9.8 with 6 pole positions. William Byron right there at 10.7.
Well, A.J. Allmendinger was fast in practice. That did translate to qualifying. He is now the fastest on the racetrack, a 15.117 second lap at 126.930. Now we are about 0.2 of a second faster than the fastest lap we saw in practice, Mark. The sun is continuing to go behind the grandstands. The track is continuing to get faster and faster.
I thought it would take a 14.9 something to win the pole position, as it did for Alex Bowman earlier this year. And I was beginning to wonder. We were stuck in the 15.3s, 15.2s. Now I think it may take a 14.8 or low 14.9 to grab the pole position.
Eric Jones on the racetrack now, and when you talk about, think about that, sub 15 seconds to go a half mile. Less than 15 seconds to go a half mile. I can remember Jimmy Johnson getting out of his car one time on the back straightaway. That's where they would stop the cars. And he looked at me and his hands were shaking. And he said, that's what it's like here. It was like legit. His hands were shaking because drivers have described this. I remember Mike Skinner talking about it, just saying, to be fast here, you are literally wrecking the entire time around, and you don't breathe.
I was just going to say, they don't breathe. And when they get out of the car and they're huffing and puffing, it seems like they take one big breath, they head out on the qualifying. If they're going to go a second lap, they take a breath at the start-finish line and hold it again. It is on razor's edge. When it comes to qualifying here at Bristol, things happen so fast. So Allmendinger, 15.117, 126, 930 on top. And on the racetrack now, an 8-time Bristol winner, Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch was 36th overall in practice earlier. Have they found speed? I don't know that they have, Mark. Among the 16 drivers that have gone out right now, Kyle Busch is 10th among them, and he's on his second lap of qualifying.
Kyle Busch has started top 10 only 9 times this season, and certainly qualifying has been something that they have not excelled at. And right now, only 9th quick among the 16 drivers that have attempted their speed, and that's going to drop his average starting position from 16.6 down to maybe even the 17s after today. But when you see Kyle Busch qualifying, average qualifying 16.6, that's just not normal Kyle Busch stuff.
Not at all. Brad Keselowski making his warm-up lap as we pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network. First lap for Brad Keselowski, 4th quick. He's on his second lap right now, but let's go to the man who is second quick. He is with Andrew Curlin.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is watching everyone put some laps down. How did you feel about your lap, and can a lot of people beat that?
Well, Allmendinger beat it by a lot, so there's definitely a lot to be had out there. But, with the track changing, who knows if they hit their balance or not. It's such a fine line to get your balance right. My guys did a good job. We've struggled in qualifying this year. Sat on the front row here earlier in the spring. Our NOS Energy Drink 47 was not exactly like we wanted, but, lap time-wise, it wasn't terrible in practice. So we'll go back and try and get it running better and handling better and see if we can keep the speed that we had in it. But I'm happy with that. We'll see kind of where that hangs on to, for us. But all in all, definitely happy with our Saturday.
I've heard a lot of people...
Friday.
It is Friday, not Saturday. I've heard a lot of people throw your name out as a contender for Saturday, tomorrow. So where would you rank this track in terms of your favorites?
It is my favorite. So we've got a handful of second-place finishes here in the Xfinity Series, Cup Series, on the dirt, on the concrete. So I'd love to get a win here for sure.
It didn't take long for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to say that Bristol Motor Speedway is his favorite track on the circuit.
Carson Hocevar has just gone 3rd quick at 15.306, 125.363. So our current top 5, A.J. Allmendinger, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Carson Hocevar, his teammate Justin Haley 4th, Brad Keselowski 5th. The rest of our top 10, Zane Smith, Cole Custer, Eric Jones, Riley Herbst, and Noah Gragson.
And Brad Keselowski has done something different than all of the 18 drivers that have gone out, Mark.
He did. I missed it.
He only made one lap.
I should have looked at that.
That's it. Brad Keselowski was one and done. So I guess satisfied with that one lap. I don't know that 5th in the first half of the qualifiers is going to get you a top 10 starting spot. But Keselowski's got a lot of experience here, including race-winning experience. Man knows what he's doing.
Absolutely. He can get it done here at Bristol Motor Speedway. He's one of those guys, just get it close. Get the car somewhat close to everybody else. He doesn't necessarily have to have the best car to win here. He's one of those kind of guys.
Michael McDowell just went out 7th quick as we go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Yeah, standing with the guy who's currently at the top of the leaderboard, A.J. Allmendinger. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. said you had a much faster lap than him. How did the lap feel?
Lap felt pretty good. You always can nitpick, and I probably, knowing that if I knew what I knew in the car, I do sitting out of the car, probably got a little bit more out of it, but the Grizzly nicotine pouches Chevy was really good. We're probably, that won't hold up for pole. The track as soon as the track gets shaded a little bit both ends, the playoff cars are going to be really fast, but hopefully that keeps us out of the range in that first stage. We had a really good practice to where you're not really on the verge of getting lapped, and then you go racing from there. So proud of the day for sure.
Well, that's A.J. Allmendinger, guys. Let's see how long he can hang on to the provisional pole.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Ryan Priest just went out. He ran a 15.281. That's good enough for 6th quick behind Brad Keselowski 5th, Justin Haley 4th, Carson Hocevar 3rd, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 2nd. Currently on the provisional pole, A.J. Allmendinger. When we come back, we're going to get into some of our playoffs drivers as qualifying continues for the Bass Pro Shops night race.
Whether your engine runs daily or only when you need it, Z-Max Micro Lubricant is the force you need against carbon buildup that can damage your engine. Combustion causes carbon and other harmful deposits to build up in your engine, fuel system, and transmission. And carbon is like sandpaper rubbing against your engine's internal parts. You don't want that. You want Z-Max Micro Lubricant. It soaks into metal and keeps your vehicle running at peak performance. Find out more at zmax.com or visit us on Facebook and Twitter. Protect your engine to the max with Z-Max.
Hey folks, it's Doug Rice. Did you know you can take PRN with you anywhere? By downloading the PRN mobile app, you can listen to our live races just about any place on the planet, and you will not miss a second of the action. Plus, you can hear our shows like the fantastic editions of Fast Talk, plus Brett McMillan on the Pit Reporters and Mark Garrow with Garage Pass. Get all the latest racing information right at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app, available at the Apple App Store and on Google Play.
Back at Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll take another break, come back to the track. This is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
My fiance is a veteran.
I did tours in Korea, Germany, and Bosnia before I got injured.
When Yusuf got out of the military, he needed help getting his disability benefits.
Luckily, DAV came to the rescue. They fought for me the same way that I fought for my country.
Every year, DAV provides life-changing support to more than 1 million veterans.
My victory is never giving up and finding more ways to serve.
He's pretty amazing.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Hi, this is Doug Rice at PRN. Join me for another great episode of Fast Talk. We have NASCAR Hall of Famer Kurt Busch. What does a much older, wiser Kurt Busch want to tell Carson Hocevar?
Well, let's bust out all the VHS tapes, and you can watch all my mistakes. Try not to do those, Carson. I like what he's doing. He's learning, and he's putting his time in up front.
That's Fast Talk right here on PRN.
Ty Gibbs on the racetrack as we go down to Wendy Venturini.
Chase Briscoe advanced to the round of 12 with his win at Darlington. Chase, what have you learned so far in practice at Bristol, and what are you hoping to get out of your car in qualifying?
Honestly, I thought our Bass Pro Shops Tracker Toyota was really good in practice. I was pleasantly surprised. A lot of these weeks were a little bit off in practice and obviously make it better for the race. But, yeah, today I was pretty happy. So, yeah, I don't know what that's going to mean for qualifying in the race, but certainly so far it's been a good start to the weekend, and see if, we obviously got a big advantage going this late in qualifying, so hopefully we can take advantage of it.
I was just going to mention to the fans at home, Denny Hamlin's the last car to go after you. What are you watching for in practice on the big screen right now?
Yeah, just seeing, honestly, if anybody's doing anything crazy different coming to the green. I mean, once you start your qualifying lap, you're going to be right on the bottom. So, yeah, just trying to see if anybody's doing anything different than the rest of them, and if they do, just trying to go out there and hit my marks, and hopefully it's good enough.
That's Chase Briscoe in the Bass Pro Shops red, white, and blue paint scheme this weekend.
Again, he's been the top pole sitter so far in 2025 with 6. Shane Van Gisbergen and Denny Hamlin with 3. The other multiple winners as far as pole positions, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, William Byron. Ty Gibbs is now second quick but he had quite the adventure on his second lap.
Yeah, it's a good thing that first lap was fast, because coming into turn number 4, he was trying to keep those left side tires right at the transition of the banking to the apron. I think he dipped that left front down just a little bit too much, because he washed up the racetrack and was able to save it, able to collect it, in no real danger of hitting the wall, but he was also in no real danger of making a faster lap on his second lap.
He pulled the plug, pulled the ripcord, and will live to fight another day.
Yes, he will. So Ty Gibbs second quick behind A.J. Allmendinger, 15.117 to a 15.142. On the track right now, a former winner of the Bristol night race, Chris Buescher, is out there. He's got the orange and black colors on his Fastenal Mustang Dark Horse as he heads down the back straightaway. And Chris Buescher had a great finish last week at Worldwide Technology Raceway. That's why he's what we'll call on the left side of the scoreboard, Mark. He is in group number 2 here. And Chris Buescher goes out lap number 1. 10th quick. He's going to need a little more here on his second lap as he puts the left side tires not quite on the yellow line. In fact, it looked like he had to lift a little bit there in turn number 4, but he does go just slightly quicker, now 9th quick.
Chris Buescher on the season has been very steady in qualifying. Average starting position coming into this race, 11.8, and he's been a top 10 starter 11 times.
First playoffs driver on the track right now, that's Josh Berry, but we'll go down to pit road with Wendy Venturini.
Denny Hamlin has 4 wins at this racetrack. Denny, how confident do you feel being the last driver to go out in qualifying? Is it an advantage for you?
I mean, I'd rather be the last than the first. So now the conditions are going to continue to cool down, so should go a little bit towards our favor. It's just, do we hit the balance right, and do I do a good job?
How did that tire feel? I know we were waiting for a car to go by. Did that tire feel any differently today in practice?
Not really. I didn't notice really anything different. The fall-off actually seems less than what we had here in the spring. So we'll see what we got. But overall, King's Hawaiian car was pretty good.
All right, that's Denny Hamlin hoping to roll into victory lane with the King's Hawaiian. Paint scheme this weekend, it is bright orange. You cannot miss it on the racetrack.
Josh Berry moves to 3rd.
Josh Berry, 38th in practice earlier, Mark, and moves up to 3rd. That's impressive.
A little bit of a jump. Would we call that a leap?
I would say that was a huge leap. The man on the track right now has won the last 2 pole starting spots here at Bristol. What he really needs to win is this race, but it can be helped here with qualifying.
No question. Here is Alex Bowman trying to win his 3rd straight pole at Bristol, trying to match the Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace in that regard. Here he is working out of turn number 4, and the answer is...
Lap number 1 for Alex Bowman. 6 quick right now. He will take that second lap as he's just above the yellow line that delineates the transition of the banking to the apron. Coming around 3 and 4, it is about more of the same. So let's see if Bowman can grab a couple more spots and go a little quicker on lap number 2. And it looks like he does not. So right now he's going to settle into 6 quick. No 3 consecutive poles for Bowman, but what he really wants is Saturday night speed more than he needs Friday speed, but Friday speed makes a difference.
Now he has to hope to get a good pit stall. Got a brand new pit crew. Hopefully he'll qualify enough forward that he can get himself a good pit stall or work out a deal with some of the cars in the back of the pack to get a good pit stall.
Mark, that is a great point. Well, the next driver on the track has only made 208 laps at Bristol total, and that would be Shane Van Gisbergen. Made an early exit from the spring race here at Bristol Motor Speedway and is certainly looking to improve where he is. Has Wendy's on the car this week for his Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet, and for SVG, what happens?
He is way down the running order, 16th right now out of 26 drivers. He'll try to pick it up here on lap 2.
Shane Van Gisbergen now drops it down to the bottom in turn number 3. Looks like he's rolling a little slower through the corners than a lot of the other cars we've seen, but is able to get back to the gas. And the second lap for him is almost identical. He did a 15.396 on lap 1 and a 15.397 on lap 2.
You know, when I think about SVG, no matter what happens in the playoff, he gets knocked down in round 1. Hopefully, maybe he gets to survive. Because if he gets to the next round with the Roval in it, you know, guess what? He could really make a serious threat to move into the next round. But even if he doesn't, he's certainly one of the best feel-good stories we've had all season long. And I think people need to give him a little bit of slack in the sense that he's trying to catch up his oval track racing, the guys that have had years and years and years of experience, and he's done a great job of that. They've improved. It's been slow, but he's certainly improved, and they'll have to try to take another step on the ovals next year.
Yeah, he's moved up at least 10 spots on his average finish on the ovals from the first half of what we've had this year to the second half. Ross Chastain making his second lap. First lap good enough for 6 quick. Will lap number 2 be quicker? And it is not a 15.239, so Chastain will settle into 6 quick. I'm not sure if that's going to be good enough for a top 10 starting spot, Mark. It might not be good enough for a top 15 starting spot.
I don't see it top 10. I give it a maybe top 15.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see because Austin Cindric is coming out on the track right now. Admittedly, for Austin Cindric, this is one of the tracks where he struggles. He does come in, however, above the playoffs cut line, 11 points over Austin Dillon right now. We've already seen one car prepared by Team Penske lay down a good lap. That's the Wood Brothers number 21 of Josh Berry, who is third quick. Now this is the second car out of the Team Penske shop and the first car from Team Penske proper. Austin Cindric, lap number 1 for him. Mark, how well can he do?
Austin Cindric is going to be number 2 in car number 2. Speed 1:26.804, not that far away. 1500ths from grabbing the top spot from A.J. Allmendinger.
He takes the checkered flag now. Lap number 2. Can he hop up to the provisional pole? He does not. Right now, second quick behind A.J. Allmendinger. I would say for Austin Cindric, that is absolutely the lap they needed today.
And again, it will get him a decent spot here, certainly. Maybe top 10, certainly maybe just outside it. But that's a really good lap for Austin Cindric. Has to be satisfied. And now they can check that off. Look, we've had a decent practice, a great qualifying from where we practice. And now they can concentrate on the race.
2 Bass Pro Shop sponsored cars here. One a Toyota, one a Chevrolet. The Chevrolet of Austin Dillon is on the track right now. Minus 11 points to the cut line. Comes off of turn number 4. Let's see what RCR can put up for a number in qualifying.
A big wiggle from Austin Dillon at the exit of turn 4. Almost lost control of that car. He's 14th quickest on lap 1. We'll have to really charge hard here on lap number 2.
All right, let's see if he's conservative. If he pushes it, you have to imagine he found more if he doesn't wiggle on this one. And Mark, he found a little more. He does not improve in his position, however. He is 14th quick as we go down to Wendy Venturini.
Alex Bowman has started from the pole here twice at Bristol today. Right now you're qualifying from that 8th spot. Tell us how you feel about it and what is your car doing, Alex?
Definitely not good. That'll be about 18th. So certainly frustrated. Just haven't been amazing today. And then, I thought my 1 and 2 was okay. I just didn't stick 3 and 4 very well there that first lap and kind of ruined both laps all at once. So, not what we needed with our Ally Camaro. And, got a lot of work to do. So hopefully we'll be better tomorrow.
How hard is it to pinpoint? Is it one area, multiple areas? Is it the car? Is it the driver when you go and assess what's happening today?
It's probably just the driver.
That's Alex Bowman being brutally honest with us here at PRN.
Tyler Reddick, 9th quickest on his opening lap. He's across the stripe, has completed his 2-lap qualifying run. Reddick improves 1 spot, goes from 9th to 8th on his second lap. So Allmendinger still remains on top. Right beside him on the provisional outside pole, Austin Cindric.
When we come back, the final 9 qualifiers for the Bass Pro Shops night race. These are the top drivers in the playoff point standings here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Hey, Joey Logano here, the driver of the number 22 Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford Mustang. What can a 3-time champion do by the end of this ad? A pit stop and grabbing a hunk of pizza at the closest convenience store near you. To find a location, visit huntbrotherspizza.com.
By downloading the free PRN mobile app, you can listen to all of our live race broadcast anywhere. You'll also have easy access to all of our award-winning studio shows. Get all the latest racing information at your fingertips with the PRN mobile app.
This is Kyle Petty for Echo Park Automotive. As you might imagine, I know a thing or two about cars, and I'm here to tell you about a whole new way to buy a car, truck, or SUV. Did you know that Echo Park Automotive has over 95,000 5-star reviews? On top of that, every car that Echo Park Automotive sells goes through a 190-point inspection to make sure that it looks and drives like new, so you leave happy. It's even in their name. Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. The official used car dealer of Speedway Motorsports.
Last 9 cars to qualify coming up right after this. From Bristol Motor Speedway, this is PRN, the Performance Racing Network.
It's hard to believe in this day and age in the United States of America that children are hungry.
Our time on this planet is short. We have to give back to those in need.
Every child has a chance, no matter what obstacles they may encounter.
Never have we been taxed more as a society to help kids the way we are right now.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children
deserve joy
and hope
and love.
I'm PRN's Doug Turnbull, co-host of the 5 to Go podcast, a weekly deep dive into 5 motorsports issues. Devin Kupka gives the Gen Z view.
One thing that I've never seen before, when the cars got 4 wide, everybody stood up cheering.
And championship-winning mechanic Dan Elliott leans on his decades in the garage and promoting.
Unless everybody is aware of the rules, then no, it's not fair for everyone.
Listen to the 5 to Go podcast on GoPRN.com and subscribe on Apple and Spotify.
Daytona 500 and Iowa winner William Byron on the track qualifying as we go down to pit road and Andrew Curlin.
And Josh Berry is standing by watching qualifying, currently 4th right now. It's a big weekend for you. How do you feel about your qualifying lap and rolling off tomorrow?
Yeah, I thought it was a big improvement from practice. I didn't feel very comfortable at the start of practice. I was struggling being pretty free, but the guys made some really good adjustments there. I thought we hit a solid lap there. Probably left a touch out there with how far we were off to start, but overall guys did a really good job, and we should be in the top 15 hopefully, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
The task is to go win. Where's your mindset going into tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, it really hasn't changed. I mean, every week we come out here and try to win, right? I mean, we try to do the best job we can every time we're on the racetrack, and that's going to be the same tomorrow. We just need to just be able to move forward through the race and execute, have good pit stops, and just see what happens.
Well, guys, that's Josh Berry. He's watching these final couple of cars roll off.
Byron just went out. He is 4th fast on the racetrack now. Kyle Larson as we go back down to Wendy Venturini.
Austin Cindric is 2nd in qualifying in that number 2 car. Austin, give us some feedback on how happy you are with this tire and how your car is responding from practice and qualifying.
Yeah, it's been an interesting day. I feel like every time we come here, it's always a little bit different, but definitely feels like good old Bristol. I ran a lot of laps in practice and felt like we got some good idea on the wears and what we might need to do for tomorrow, but just proud of my guys, fastest discount tire Ford Mustang. It's been a really difficult qualifying track for me in the Cup Series, so happy with wherever we end up really after this, but a lot of laps to do tomorrow and a lot of work to do.
All right, what do you do to approach the mindset 11 points to the good going into tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think first box checked is qualifying, right? That's going to be our best opportunity to get stage points and trying to continue to increase that gap. I mean, we got to have a really good night. I mean, we're up against really tough competition, and I feel like our team's come well prepared.
All right, that's Austin Cindric. Give him a shout-out, guys. He stood around and waited for our interview. Well, he could have been long gone by now, so we appreciate that from Austin Cindric.
Genuinely good guy, Austin Cindric. So it's Allmendinger, Cindric, Gibbs, Larson, Byron, Berry, Stenhouse, Hocevar, Chastain, Reddick. That's our top 10.
Larson went out 4th quick on his first lap. Second lap in 1 and 2, just a little bit of a wiggle, shut it down. But he actually was doing very well, good enough on that first lap. Christopher Bell, lap number 1 for him. Mark is good enough for top 10.
And he is currently in the 6th position, trying to move up a little bit more, if not all the way to the top in the DeWalt Toyota. Here is Bell back to the stripe. And he is not going to improve, and he is currently outside of row number 3.
Christopher Bell and Josh Berry actually identical fastest lap times of 15.214 for each of them. So I would say if you're Josh Berry and you were practicing in the low 30s, that's not too bad if you can match the lap time of Christopher Bell.
Again, nobody under 15 seconds at this particular point. And now on the racetrack, we have got Bubba Wallace.
Bubba Wallace, again, has had a fantastic opening to the playoffs. He comes into this cutoff race at Bristol 50 points above the cut line. Here is a track where Bubba Wallace has been able to drive up to the lead, and he brings that 2311 Toyota across the start-finish line, lap number 1. Good enough for 6 quick, right behind William Byron. We'll see if he can get it a little bit more and maybe move up into the top 5 provisionally.
So here is Wallace again charging through 3 and 4 into the finish line. Can he pick it up on lap number 2? Some have, some haven't. and Wallace is going to remain in that number 6 position. So, with Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin left, A.J. Allmendinger still clinging to the pole position.
Well, we know he's going to get a top 10 starting spot. He's pretty happy about that. Ryan Blaney and Justin Haley were the fastest cars in practice earlier today. Ryan Blaney still has yet to go out. Justin Haley has actually moved down the scoreboard to 14th. Joey Logano, he was not good. He was on the right side of the scoreboard in practice earlier, but he takes his Shell Pennzoil Ford Mustang now down the back straightaway. This is a time lap for Joey Logano. This is lap number 1. Again, he struggled in the next-gen car here at Bristol and takes the white flag for Joey Logano. Oh, he's struggling here in qualifying, Mark. 19th quick right now.
Well, the hits keep on coming at this racetrack for Joey Logano. He is going to be in the middle of the hornet's nest when we drop the green flag on the Bass Pro Shops night race tomorrow evening. And Logano will not improve on that first lap. So he is, at this point, number 19, and now just 4 drivers left in qualifying.
And just think, he's 19th. Teammate Austin Cindric is 2nd. Outside teammate Josh Berry with Wood Brothers is 8th. Boy, that is tough for Joey Logano. But the next car on the track right now, he's coming off a nice top 3 finish. Chase Elliott won an all-star race here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Would love to get a points-paying race and a night race win here for that Napa number 9. Chase Elliott now midway down the back straightaway. Looks like he carries a lot of speed into turn number 3. Is able to keep it down into the PJ1. Takes the white flag, Mark.
And Chase Elliott is going to be only 14th as he works on lap number 2 in qualifying for the Bass Pro Shops night race. A.J. Allmendinger hasn't stopped breathing yet. He's going to probably take a big, deep breath with Blaney, Briscoe, and Hamlin still to take a shot at him. And Elliott shuts it down on lap number 2. So he, at this point, is going to be 14th.
Yeah, didn't even go for it. All right, has the track slowed down, or is this where these cars are? We're about to find out as Ryan Blaney pulls off a pit road.
The big question is the tire. How has the tire played into this? We thought when Allmendinger went out early of 15.1, you thought we're going to go sub-15, somewhere in the 14s, 14.9 or so. Hasn't happened. A.J. Allmendinger has won 4 pole positions on the Cup Series. His last one, 2015 at Watkins Glen. So wow. He has his fingers and his toes crossed right now.
He was top 5 in practice, so he does have a fast race car. Ryan Blaney was the fastest, along with Justin Haley. He takes the white flag for Ryan Blaney. Second quick. Can he take away the pole on his second lap?
Only 0.03 of a second, the difference between Blaney and A.J. Allmendinger. Blaney, again, strong exit from turn number 4. Can he? No, he just backs off the gas, just coasts across the line.
Wow, he must have known. He felt something in that race car that said this was not going to be it. I don't need to push it. A.J. Allmendinger, just a big sigh of relief as we have only 2 cars to go right now.
So among them, here comes Chase Briscoe. All he's done is won 6 pole positions this season. So yeah. This is a major bullet for A.J. Allmendinger to dodge.
I would say here's where you get nervous. The Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry XSE will take the green flag as Chase Briscoe makes his way around the bottom of this racetrack here at the world's fastest half mile. Just how fast will it be for Chase Briscoe? Heads into turn number 3, Mark. The next corner, he'll see the white flag.
He's locked right on the bottom, hard on the gas at the exit of 4. Can Briscoe go to the top of the board? And, wow, he is 32nd on his opening lap.
It's a good thing he won Darlington because he's going to have a long way to climb here at Bristol. Chase Briscoe, lap number 2. Not sure if this is going to be much better. Let's see what he does as he took the checkered flag.
He moved up to 30th. Obviously, something not right with Chase Briscoe's car. That was a shock right there.
Yeah, Ty Gibbs, a teammate, is 4th quick right now. And, we look at some of the other Toyotas out there. Christopher Bell is 8th quick right now. And Denny Hamlin is the last Joe Gibbs driver to go out and the last driver to go out. Big win last week at Gateway.
All right, you A.J. Allmendinger fans, place your bets. Can Hamlin grab the number 1 spot away from A.J.? We're about to find out if the dinger's going to ring the bell. Hamlin's in turn 1.
Denny Hamlin, a 2-time winner in the next-gen car. The race where the tires wore quickly. He went to victory lane in that one, came back and won the next one as well, the Bass Pro Shops night race. A 4-time winner at Bristol. Can he claim a pole? Lap number 1.
And the answer is no at this point. 6th quick for Denny Hamlin. He's going to have to pick it up big time here to take it away from AJ.
Drops it down in turn number 3, coming off of turn number 4 now. The King's Hawaiian Toyota for Denny Hamlin. He will start the Bass Pro Shops night race in the 6th position.
So A.J. Allmendinger wins his first pole position in 2025, his first on the Cup Series since 2015, his 5th career, and now that crew celebrating. And it's funny, after Denny went by the first lap, A.J. just smiled like, yeah, he just didn't see Denny being able to pick it up on the second lap to take it away. And indeed, that's the way it turned out. Let's go back down to Andrew Curlin.
Well, Ryan Blaney was pretty close to the pole, but you'll be starting on the outside of the front row. How do you feel about that, and how important is track position going into tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm proud of our lap. Proud to be starting on the front row. I wish I could have had it back, and I'm sure a lot of guys would say that. Just got tight, 3 and 4. I feel like my first lap I got through 1 and 2 pretty good, and probably got a little greedy into 3. A little too high of an arc, a little too much speed, and then I tried to jump back to the gas quick, and I got tight, and I kind of had to like burp it for a second, and probably lost a little bit there. But overall, good day. I think our race car is really good too over the long haul, and just looking forward to tomorrow night. Hopefully, can run a good 500 laps and keep up with the racetrack and see what we can do.
Here's what I find impressive. That analysis of the lap was about 35, 40 seconds, but the actual lap itself is 15. How crazy is a lap around Bristol?
That's wild. I mean, you in qualifying, I mean, you pretty much are holding your breath the whole lap, right? There's just a lot of commitment, but it is fun, though. That's for sure. And but no, it's, little tiny points in the racetrack, kind of where you place your car on entry and your speed. It can really make or break you, and just was a little off. I was like a foot higher into 3 than I should have been, and lifted probably half a car length too late, and just, that's what it is. So, but overall, proud of the effort, and to be that close to the pole, it's a good day.
Ryan Blaney described Bristol as fun, and I think that's exactly it, guys.
He's acting like, A.J. Allmendinger just, beat him by a big margin. The gap, again, 0.003 of a second between those two.
Well, let's hear from our pole winner with Wendy Venturini.
August 2015 at Watkins Glen was the last time A.J. Allmendinger had the pole. Hey, we're going to wipe that record clean, start over today at Bristol. Congratulations. How good does that feel, A.J.?
I'm just trying to be like a fine wine, but even more a Celsius, really. Hopefully getting better with age. I'm trying. I'm doing everything I can, but no, super proud of all the men and women at Collard Racing. This Grizzly nicotine pouch of Chevys was really good in practice, and I was happy with it. And I felt like when I hit those 2 laps qualifying, I thought, I could find a couple more hundreds, but I was fairly happy with it. I didn't think it'd be P1, quite honest, but this Cup Series is so tough. They've been building fast Chevys all year, and it's just qualifying. We got 500 laps, but small victories like this, it's pretty awesome. And we're on pole at Bristol. Like, this is amazing.
All right, let's talk about tomorrow's race. You have that top spot. Great view. What does it equate to in the race? How aggressive can you be starting this field?
Well, I mean, it's just it's about getting in a good rhythm, right? Like, it's 500 laps around this place is a grind. It takes a full execution. I'm going to do my best to not make any mistakes. My pit crew's been on fire all year, but yeah, we gotta go do everything we can, but no matter what happens, we can't let it overshadow to show what type of speed we have today and what we've done kind of all year and continually trying to grow. So I don't know if I'll sleep better or worse tonight, but we'll have a lot of smiles tonight and be ready to go tomorrow night.
Did you get a chance to talk to Matt Collig yet? I know Chris Rice is downstairs here.
Yeah, he was behind on TV. He thought there were still a few to go, so I didn't want to spoil it for him, but I let him know we're on pole.
All right, good news. A.J. Allmendinger catching up Matt Collig on the pole here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Thank you very much, Wendy Venturini. We appreciate that. Congratulations to A.J. Allmendinger. Let's tell you how they're going to start tomorrow night's Bass Pro Shops night race. A.J. Allmendinger, Ryan Blaney on the front row. Austin Cindric and Ty Gibbs in row number 2. Row number 3 will be Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. Row number 4, William Byron and Bubba Wallace. Rounding out the top 10 in row number 5, Christopher Bell and Josh Berry.
11th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 12th, It'll be Carson Hocevar. Ross Chastain in the playoff starts 13th, 14th Tyler Reddick, 15th Alex Bowman, 16th Chase Elliott. Then it's Justin Haley in 17th, 18th Brad Keselowski, John Hunter Nemechek 19th, 20th, Ryan Preece.
Chris Buescher rolls off 21st. 22nd will be Joey Logano. Austin Dillon will start 23rd. 24th, Zane Smith. Michael McDowell will be 25th. Cole Custer starts 26th. Eric Jones starts 27th. Shane Van Gisbergen starts 28th. 29th will be Riley Herbst. And 30th, Noah Gragson.
Then a big surprise way back in 31st. Chase Briscoe will take the green flag. Kyle Busch, 32nd. 33rd, Austin Hill. Then Cody Ware, 34th. 35th, Daniel Suarez. Todd Gilliland, 36th. 37th is going to be Ty Dillon. 38th, Corey Heim. Chad Fincham will start 39th.
PRN will go on the air tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time for the Bass Pro Shops night race. Coming up less than 30 minutes from now, we have the Food City 300 NASCAR Xfinity Series Playoffs opener, where Justin Allgaier and Sam Mayer will lead the field to the green flag. Want to say a big thanks to Wendy Venturini and Andrew Curlin covering everything on pit road. Our engineers here tonight, Harold Hamrick, Bill Parrott, and Scott Hollingsworth. Our race director is Ryan Horn. Sales and marketing for PRN, Barry Roach, David Stiles, Alexis Erickson, Hank Lee, and Caleb Whistler. Production is Kent Bernhardt. The Executive Vice President and General Manager of PRN is Jerry Horn. For Mark Garrow, my name is Brad Gilley. Congratulations to A.J. Allmendinger, pole winner for the Bass Pro Shops night race.
Qualifying from Bristol has been an exclusive presentation of PRN.